Good morning. Oh, about fell. Good morning, flare fishing fam. We are going bass fishing today at one of my all-time favorite lakes back in Nebraska, chasing spring Nebraska broods. But I gotta show you something about the new Tundra, okay? So if you guys don't know, got the new truck, got the lift on it, got the BF Goodrich tires on it. If you guys actually want those, I'll link those down below. They're pretty sick. And but I finally got the last modification done to the truck. Check it out. Right here, got the leer cover on it right here. This thing basically slides back and forth. I'm not going to show you just because I don't want to take it all apart, but like it slides and then you bring it back. Keeps your stuff protected from all the burglars and all the good stuff. So got that out. I just want to show you guys, and a lot of you guys have been asking what other mods are going to be doing to this. That's basically it. You haven't seen the full truck. That's what she looks like. We got a lift on her. Again, the BFGs, some wheels, tint, side steps, all the good stuff. The Tundra is looking good, but today more importantly, we are going fishing Maiden Voyage of the newly revamped 10-pounder. And if you guys don't remember, Toyota actually helped me out with that build, so huge thanks to those guys for supporting me and actually supporting this video right here. So we're gonna put this boat to the test. As you can see, we got a little bit of cloudiness going on behind me. I believe there's a storm rolling in here pretty soon, couple hours maybe. It's been really warm here in Nebraska though lately, which is good. We need the warm weather for the fish. I've heard the water temperatures are like in the 50s, mid 50s or so, so we might be throwing jerk baits, lipless, chatterbaits, square bills, jigs, Ned rigs, pretty much all that good stuff. But I'm excited. There's also northern pike in this lake, so I'm really hoping to catch a giant pike. I don't have a net, so that would be pretty exciting stuff. Anyways, I'm gonna shut up. Let's get to fishing. I don't know if throwing a teeny little Ned rig in muddy water is a good idea or not, but yeah, if you got black and blue, I'd probably throw that. Something a little darker. You got one? Yeah. You got one! There you go, first fish, boys. We're hooked up. This is a big one? Oh gosh, that's a good one. Bring them up in here, son. Oh my gosh, look at that. There we go.
Right off the rocks.
3-pounder. That was awesome. That did not take very long. Yeah, hold that sucker out. Look at that fish, son. Matt drew first blood in the new boat. Good job. Back in the water. So I'm starting off with a little finesse Ned rig, just because the water is now, let's see, what's the water reading now? 49, and he's throwing, what are you throwing here? Little black and blue creature bait. So I'm thinking the water's pretty dirty. I don't know if they can even see this little finesse deal, but bringing that thing across the rocks. All right, I'm gonna throw the jig then. I think the jig might work. I'm gonna throw a little green pumpkin action on here. Matches the water clarity again, but I put a little chartreuse on it. We'll see if this works. Dragging it along the rocks. So in the spring, for those of you guys that are new to fishing or looking for some tips, rocks hold heat. So anytime you're fishing, where it's warm all day, 70 degrees, 60 degrees, and then at the nights it's getting down to the 40s like it normally does. If you're fishing in the morning, especially like we are right now, fish the rocks, because the rocks is it's gonna hold the heat. And then maybe in the afternoon, the fish might not be on the rocks necessarily because the whole water is warm and everything else is warm, but they're gonna hold against the rocks throughout the night and in the mornings, because that's where the heat is. So always start on rocks. That's my tip of the day. Yeah, it actually isn't as dirty. It's weird. There's one. There's one. First cast. First cast. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yep, that's a good fish. First cast at the new spot. That's what's up, baby. Come here. Woo! Yes! Look at that. Chatterbait fish. We just moved to the complete other side of the lake. Black and blue chatterbait, baby. Oh, pop her out of there. We just moved. That's a Nebraska brute. That's probably 2.5 or so pounds. Not quite as big as Matt's. Another good fish. You can tell how pale they are because how cold the water's been and how dirty it is. They don't have like the prominent lateral lines just yet, but little pudgy little dude. All right, going back. Yes! First cast. I can't believe that. On the new spot. Like I said, we just rolled up. First cast, black and blue chatterbait. Throwing against this little bridge here. You can't get under this bridge because there's eagles back there and they protect it for like half the season, which I'm not. I'm not under the bridge. So I know you Game and Parks people are watching this right now. This is the only piece of structure really around here. I mean, there's trees, but This is just one little bridge here, and I've caught a lot of fish off this bridge. I've caught some pike off this bridge too, bass and pike, but that's a good sign on the black and blue chatterbait. The water is actually way warmer here. The water is 58, so it's 10 degrees warmer than the main lake. This is the furthest northern point of this lake. I was telling you guys, the north part is always going to be the warmest, and where the rocks are, which is this is pretty much as far north as you can get before you start trespassing. Feet. Oh, what was that? He ate it just sitting there like a jig. Dude, what? I don't think my GoPro was going. What the heck? I just got another one. Yes, dude, what? On the bridge again. This is insane. My GoPro wasn't going. I just stopped and started it. Look, he's not even, literally wasn't even hooked. Was not even hooked. I was talking to Matt and I was explaining how this lake is super shallow right now. It's way down. And my chatterbait was sitting on the bottom and I felt it eat it like a jig. Literally just like a jig fish. Another bass. All right. Well, this is a really good sign. Really good sign. You go to the warm water, you go to the northern side of the lake, you start catching fish right away. I mean, Matt caught the fish right in the morning. We fished for another hour and didn't have another bite. All of a sudden we pull up here. That's crazy. You might want to put on a black and blue. So I was reeling it in like this, and I was talking to Matt, and I just let it sit on the bottom, and I'm sitting here pointing and talking, and all of a sudden my line jumps, and I set the hook like a jig. I've never in my life had that happen. Chatterbait just laying on the bottom, just hanging out, not moving. That's a fish. That's a fish. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. All right, we got a tree hanger here, folks. Yeah, that's a fish. Well, he's hanging from the tree. We're coming. Stay on there, buddy. I made a pretty dangerous cast. I'm only throwing 17-pound line, which isn't the heaviest. Don't you do it now. Don't you do it. He knows he's about to get in the boat. How do we get around this thing? What do we got going on here? Nope. There we go. Lay him right on my hoodie. Perfect. Look at that. Flip fish. My line is completely shredded now, but I caught him way in the back. And I kept telling myself, I was like, if I feel a bite, I'm pretty much screwed. And when I picked up, it was heavy, and I could feel him swimming around down there. I hooked him pretty dang good though. Tore right in him. Look at that. That's a beautiful. We passed that one. This is our second pass down, and I pitched way. He was way in there on the little beaver. Look at that bloody tail. You know they're starting to get to doing the dirty when they got that bloody tail going on there. Beautiful. All right, see you later, little buddy. I took him for a fun ride. Snag. There's one. Yep. Got him. That's a good bass. Come on, buddy. Yes. Dude, that was like a foot away from the boat. Oh my gosh. But again, he was tucked in up against the bank. We're starting to kind of dial these fish in. Look at that. Look at that. I've never seen that fin be bloody before. Look at that. I mean, look at the tail and the fin. That's crazy that it just snowed last week. Like, I mean, the water's 57, so I know they're thinking about spawning, but that's crazy. I mean, these look like full-blown pre-spawn bass. They're all beat up. They're bloody as heck. That's not a giant fish, but I'll take him. See, buddy. I'll show you what I'm throwing here. Just a little Texas rig. This is one of my favorite ways to catch fish, just flipping a little beaver. And a jig could work, but for some reason, these creature baits, I don't know. I tend to catch, personally, I think I catch more fish flipping these. I mean, this is what I caught the 8-pounder on down in Texas. And black and blue has been the color. Matt discovered that. The black and blue and the little beavers, what's keyed in on. We casted in that tree probably 10 times, but I made one little cast as I was up against the bank getting my lure unhung, and it was right up against the bank, like as close as you can get, and it bit it and swam. So these fish they're pushed up, so we got to make sure we're making really far pitches when we are actually casting in the trees. Got him. He came, dude, he ate it. Oh my gosh. Did you hear me gasp when he ate it? I brought it over the tree branch. Look at that. We're getting them dialed now, boys. It's over. Hitting the Tur 2024. I brought it over the branch, and it chased it over the branch like a topwater fish. I mean, what's so weird is this is our second pass, in this. We fished every tree that I've been catching these fish on. We've already fished once today with no luck. Second time around, they're smoking it. Same little deal. See, buddy? This is good stuff, folks. This morning, Matt caught a fish on this exact bait, on the rocks though, which is totally different. And then we ran again to the very north side, found the warmest water, and actually this water is cleaner than the main lake, which is weird because this is where the water kind of comes in. You would think it'd be muddy, but we really haven't had any rain, so it's clean water that's getting pumped in here, so it's going to be oxygenated and it's warmer. So you got clean, warm, oxygenated water. I mean, that's pretty much everything that a fish wants in its life. There's one. There's one. Yep, that's a good one. That's a good one. Woo! On the chatterbait. On these rocks. Look at, he choked it, dude. Like, just completely gone. The whole thing. See that? Black and blue chatterbait. Not a giant fish. I'll take him, though. We just moved over to these rocks. You guys see these rocks here? See the little dude? We just moved, and Matt's back there. He's tying on a white chartreuse chatterbait. I'm throwing the black one, and the wind's actually blowing into these rocks, so I figured it'd be good. And the water's warm. I mean, it's 50, was it 55 here? Which is pretty warm. And this morning it was like 47. So it's obviously warming up. And with this wind kind of blowing into it, warm water, I'm thinking these fish are gonna hold on these rocks, because again, these rocks hold heat. Pre-spawn, I love rocks. Once they're, you know, starting to think about bedding, that's when they go to that little bit, you know, softer bottom with the reeds and the grass and stuff like that. But pre-spawn, they love hanging around these rocks and just feeding up. And you are gonna get hung up. You just snap your rod and she comes free. When they feed up for pre-spawn, they eat crawfish, bluegills, and crawfish and bluegills love hanging around these rocks. That's the key right now. Little black and blue chatterbait. One tip I've got for you guys about chatterbait fishing, since you guys know me and chatterbait are like this. It's not like a foolproof tip, but you guys can see it's kind of worn off now, but it was colored Sharpie this morning, and part of it's come off. One of my tips for especially black and blue, and I do it on green pumpkin as well, is I take a Sharpie and I color the blade, and this one obviously needs a new coloring. Because, I mean, the last time I saw bluegill swimming, I didn't see something in front of its face shiny like that. I just think it's more natural, especially against pressured fish. Not saying if you don't color it, you're not gonna catch fish, because I've probably caught more fish on a shiny blade than a black blade. But if you're fishing pressured waters, you know, you're not getting as many bites as you kind of expected, color in that blade on a black and blue or green pumpkin. On a white or like a white and chartreuse, leave it, because that gives a flash of like a shad, which is what you're trying to resemble. But when you're trying to resemble a bluegill with the black and blue or the green pumpkin, take a Sharpie, color that thing in, and it might help you catch another fish. It just kind of depends, but that's just one thing I do. And then the other thing I do for not the black and blue, but the green pumpkin, is I'll dye the tail a little bit chartreuse. So like, not this one, but again, on the green pumpkin, I'll put a little chartreuse on the tail. I just think that it shows the color, plus it's got some scent to it. Those are some chatterbait tips for you guys. But if you guys want, again, the rod, the reel, the line, the lures that I'm using in today's videos, I'm trying to do everything I can to link everything down below. So just check the description, check it out. You guys want to pick up any of this gear. Well, that's the end of today's adventure. It was good. I mean, it was actually a lot better than I had initially expected, just because I knew the water temperatures were gonna be in the 40s, which luckily we went way north and found 57-degree water, which is like crazy. I've never been to a lake where there's 12-degree difference in, I mean, a matter of like 2 miles down the lake. I mean, maybe not even 2 miles, probably like a mile. It's crazy. I've never seen that before, but hopefully you guys learned something from this video. I'll do a quick recap for you. 1, fish the northern side of the lake. This doesn't really apply that much to ponds, but for lakes, north side usually warms the first, is the first to warm, or something like that. That's tip number 1, okay? Tip number 1 is fish the north side. Tip number 2, just find the warmest water. So if the north side isn't the warmest, go find the warmest water, because where the warmest water was where we caught most of our fish. And that's pretty much how we did that today. What other tips? Chatterbait, color the blade. It may or may not work, but you should try it, you know, whatever. Number 7 tip of the day, just because there's cold water, don't be afraid to throw a plastic or a bait that does move a lot, because like the bait Matt was throwing that initially caught that fish, I mean, it kicks like crazy. So I would have never guessed that that's what they would eat. I would think they were going to be eating like a beaver that doesn't have a lot of flapping appendages, and they actually prefer the movement. So even if you're in 48, 49, 50 degree water, don't be afraid to throw baits that actually have a lot of action, which contradicts pretty much every pro and myself, pretty much every textbook rule of bass fishing. That completely contradicts. So that's another rule. I'm trying to think, what else did we learn today? That's pretty much it. And if you're flipping cover, the fish are generally pretty tight to the bank this time of year. So when I was catching those fish, it was making like a pitch in the middle, the absolute middle of the actual bush that I was fishing, and kind of close up to the bank. That's pretty much what happened. That's essentially a recap of what happened today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Like I said, if you did, leave a like. If you haven't subscribed, why haven't you? Go hit the subscribe button. Drop a comment down below. Tell me. I love seeing what you guys want to see next. You know, obviously I'm back in Nebraska. I'm probably gonna stay here for a little bit. So I'll do some pond fishing, some creek fishing, what species you may go after in Nebraska, or maybe I'll travel, maybe I'll do something else, maybe go down south to Kansas and catch some wipers or crappie or something. Anyways, I'm gonna quit rambling. I gotta get back. As you can tell, nice and cloudy, so the storm is moving in. We beat the storm, we caught fish, mission accomplished. Really do appreciate you guys watching. Remember, if you pick up $25 or more of flare gear, I will automatically enter you to win a fishing trip with me inside the 10-pounder. The gear will be linked down below, and all the gear that I used today. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.